He's a fresh guy, fine guy. I've been keeping him for almost an hour, trying to get the right parameters and all that. And the discussion today is Ashiwaju. Is Ashiwaju the right man for 2023? Do not forget, guys, that I am a Peter Obi supporter, but I use my platform is open to all political candidates, irrespective of party. And I give everybody a free chance or a free opportunity. Well, maybe not free cash-wise, but because my platform is not free. But I give everybody an opportunity to talk about their party. And please, I don't have anybody from Atiku's camp. You also have an opportunity to come and throw some light on your political candidate. I will send you my rates. The reason why DJ Bongolee is here pro bono is because he joined me live the other day, and he was spitting some facts that I personally feel the world needs to hear, because he understands the Nigerian constitution a little bit better than I do. If it was Bible now, I'm sure he would not be here to have this discussion. But the Nigerian constitution, politics, and all that, let us have an open insight into this particular matter. Remember, I have broadcast training, so I'm going to try to be non-partisan, even though NBC does not have a hold on me like they had on the radio. One of the reasons why I left the radio was NBC. I am tired of having to worry about what NBC will think if I said this or if I said that. To be honest, I was one of the few broadcasters who was very lucky with NBC. I never got into NBC trouble, and I looked for trouble, but I was always flying under their radar. So it would be unfair for me to put NBC on the grill. But nonetheless, I was still working in a radio station, and my orgas then and program directors will not fail to remind us that, look, if you say this, if you do this, NBC is coming. So even though they never came for me, big shout out to NBC. I love you guys. You guys tried. I knew there were some broadcasters that every day like this, they're on NBC. NBC is roasting them. NBC is using them to do suya. NBC is using them to do hamburger. I wasn't among them. But still, I would like a place where I can control what happens on my platform to an extent. Of course, there are things that I will say on my platform that Nigerian police will invite me. So it's not like I'm totally immune. I can just say what I like. I also have to keep the laws of the Federation into consideration. And as a preacher of the Word of God, I have to practice fairness. That is why the other day you saw Mr. Jollof. He was right here on my platform, and we both discussed. He spoke from Ashiwaju's camp. I spoke from Peter Obi's camp, and we had a very lovely interaction. Yesterday, we had wonderful comedian Okon. Okon sent me a message today. He said, "You've made people see me that I'm brilliant." I said, "You have always been brilliant. Me, I knew you were brilliant. It's just that they always see you doing mumu comedy." So Okon was here yesterday speaking on behalf of Peter Obi and how powerful Peter Obi is. And then today we have DJ Bongolee. I hope I've made the introduction properly. You guys are going to enjoy the session. Remember, my platform is monetized, and to be on my platform, you will have to pay my fees. So don't think that because I brought Okon yesterday pro bono, because Okon is my colleague in the industry, and I'm bringing DJ Bongolee, don't think it will come tomorrow and do your hand like this and say that the freeze is my turn. It's your turn when you pay the rates. Please keep that at the back of your mind. DJ Bongolee, welcome to my platform. How are you doing? This is not your first time here. You were actually brought here because of popular demand and because of how well you nailed the other day. Somebody said Daddy Free is not lying. Now Tinubu you they support from the beginning. You see, my problem is I have a problem with Nigerians. If Nigerians want to hear the big fat bird that flew, and you say the bird that flew is big and fat, you enter trouble with them. As long as you don't say exactly what they want to hear. Let me ask you a question. How interesting will be my platform to my audience in diaspora and locally, if all I do is come here and talk about Peter Obi? How interesting would it be? I have to invite people from other camps. Atiku's people are going to come too. And as I've done pro bono for Peter Obi, I've done pro bono for Ashiwaju, two posts. I'm also going to do pro bono for Atiku. At least the three main candidates. The other ones who pay, the ones that I don't know. Omoyele Sowore is my friend. If he needs my platform is available for him for free at any time. Anytime. Let this message get to him. He is my personal friend. Somebody I love and respect. I'm not sure he has any power in this particular election, but he's my friend and my platform is available for him. Now, let me beg you. Simply Vic was on the phone with me today for like 30 minutes telling me not to curse people again. So I will just block you. I'm trying very hard not to shake way for people because people will push you. So you will just collect your ancestral blocking that will guarantee you an undignified rapture into the pit. So, DJ Bongolee, I've been speaking since.
Yes.
Welcome to my platform. Thank you for coming once again. So, the question
Thank you very much.
is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu the man for 2023, in your own opinion?
Well, Daddy Freeze, thank you very much for giving me your platform. I'm also doing this pro bono. I'm not part of the Ashiwaju group. But before we go ahead, I would like us to observe a moment of silence for those who have passed away in Zamfara State, the farmers, in Kebbi State, Deborah in Sokoto State, in Katsina, in Kano, in Borno, in Taraba, in Adamawa, in Rivers State, in Owo, in Ibarapa Igongon, in Ebonyi State, in Anambra State, in Imo State, and all those places where we're having lots of security issues. May God grant the fortitude for the families to bear these losses. And because we are mourning right now, it's a 3-day mourning, I think, in Southwest for what happened in Owo. So may their souls continue to rest in peace.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Before I move forward, I would like people to just do a brief introduction of myself. My name is Ayodeji Bakare, also popularly known as DJ Bongolee. I'm from Satellite Town, Lagos. I'm a native of Ijebu Ode. I studied chemical engineering, University of Lagos. I graduated with a 2-1. I've once traveled with Daddy Freeze in 2008 to London. I took a picture with him. He doesn't remember. You went with a friend, and then all the Nigerians were lining up in one section with the green passport. And then I saw Daddy Freeze go with another color of passport. I'm like, did Daddy Freeze leave his friend? Then, later I realized that, oh, Daddy Freeze is actually not one of us. So Daddy Freeze has another pali that he's using. So that was in 2008. I remember I took a picture. And then during my NYC, I worked at Consolidated Breweries Nigeria PLC for about a year. I was a process engineer, utilities engineer, maintenance engineer, and then came down to the US for my master's degree program in Texas A&M, chemical engineering also. I graduated with 3.83 over 4, and I've worked for 3 different companies now, Celanese Chemical Corporation, Lubrizol, and now I'm currently working at DSM. I'm a production engineer. I've worked as a process improvement engineer. I've also worked as a process engineer also. And on the side, I am a DJ. So professional DJ, like club DJ.
Come. It's like I want to go and throw my NYSC certificate inside the dustbin. In fact, see person resume. Hey, Oluwalambe.
I just wanted to.
You had 3.83 out of 4.
Kind of.
And you still play DJ.
I do that one on Friday nights. Saturday have private gigs. Saturday night, one of my bosses is actually here. One of my guys here. I saw him. Shout out to Shades. That's one of my guys. One of my guys.
How people they take manage today? So I'm sorry, bro, but you spoke. You said you've met me before. As far as I'm concerned, the first time I met you was on my live. I just invite, on my live, I invite random people. And here's what if you give me a 3-pointer, what do they call that thing in basketball?
Yeah, 3 points.
If you give me a 3-pointer, whatever topic it is, I will hold you. because I will see you as a valuable asset. Say whatever, like look at Miss Wowza, for instance. I haven't brought her for a while, but the day I brought her, everywhere scattered. 3-pointer. So when I bring somebody up and they wow me with intelligence, I'm always like, I didn't even have his handle. I had to announce on another live that, please, there's one guy, I've forgotten his name. He was on my live yesterday. Please, can you help me look for him? Please, a round of applause for this gentleman. This guy is not a bus conductor. He is not a motor park analyst. He has read you his resume. If they divide his resume by 10, I will not. My resume is not a tithe of his resume. Me that I'm sitting down here talking. So please, let's be very polite to him. He is an intellectual. Also, do you know what it is to play club DJ? Let me tell you, club DJ is one of the most difficult DJ.
Absolutely.
DJ.
Absolutely.
Battle DJ.
Club DJ.
Club DJ.
Club DJ.
And let me explain why. Radio DJ is the easiest because you have a library. Do you understand? You sit down, you plan. Let me tell you, most of radio DJs, what they are going to play on Wednesday, they've submitted it on Tuesday evening or Monday sometimes. Now, battle DJ is more difficult than radio DJ because you are playing against somebody else and you have to show your skills. But club DJ, as you are jamming, they are dancing and you are feeling their pulse. I'm an entertainer. I worked in these fields. If you play rubbish, they will not bring you back to that club again. You have to keep them grooving. So it's a very difficult. And the club you play, is it a major club?
Oh yes. I play at O2 here in Houston. I reside in Houston, Texas. People that are from Houston, Texas will know the O2. And then I also play at the Domain Lounge, and then at O2. So on Friday nights, I play strictly Amapiano. So I play Amapiano and I play Afro House on Friday nights. And then on Saturday, I play regular Afrobeat, hip hop, dancehall, reggae, drum and bass, techno, whatever it is. Mix it all up.
Quick question about you now. Where did you learn how to be a DJ from? Just very quickly.
Well, it started in 2007 in Unilag. I think I was in my second year, and I would just bring out speakers from my hostel, from my room, and just start playing loud music. And then I always wanted to control music. And then little by little, we have what we call barbecue nights back in Unilag. I'm talking of 2007, 2008, 2009. Those are the best moments, one of the best moments of my life. And then I'm that engineering student that, you know, get his speakers and all that stuff. I had a friend outside of school, and then he'll come and set up for me. I have my laptop and I DJ. And I will tell you the truth, I didn't spend my DJ money at all. So I saved all of my DJ money back when I was in Unilag. I saved all of my NYSC money. And then when I was coming to the US, I changed that money into dollars, and it was quite substantial. But I'm grateful to God for my parents, the parents that I have, that were able to fund my education without any student loan here in America. So I was fortunate for that. My parents fortunate for that. But I had my own money that I saved when I was DJing and all. So thanks to Alaja, my mom, and thanks to my father.
Alaja, that's your mom.
I'm Alaja.
Okay, so brilliant. Let's go into today's topic and let us start with the most controversial. You are Yoruba, so you've heard the Yoruba saying that says "Eja ka tibi pelebe mo leje."
Okay. Yes, I heard that. I understand that.
You understand?
Yeah.
For those of you who are not Yoruba, it means let us eat the moi moi from the place that is flat. You know, moi moi is like a mountain, the flat side and then the heap. They believe let's start eating it from the flat side, so we graduate into it more. But no, here we are not typical more leje. We are eating the ole from the top. So, and most controversial question, NSAS. What do you think? The narrative is many people believe that Ashiwaju or even our governor,
Someone.
Bongolee, had something to do with it. What is your honest take? And whatever your take is there anything you can buttress it with?
Well, first thing I would like to say is, may the souls of the people that were lost in the NSAS, may they continue to rest in peace. I have strong views about the NSAS movement. However, with the question that you have asked, I would say that it is rather unfair to blame Ashiwaju for, or even attribute Ashiwaju to what has happened or what happened at the NSAS. Why do I say so? Because if you look at Section 217 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, it says that the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And the commander-in-chief of the armed forces in Nigeria is no other person than President Muhammadu Buhari. So there are rules of engagement and there are chains of command. It goes from him directly to maybe the chief of defense staff. I think that is Irabo, but I don't know who it was at the time. I can't remember. And then it will go to the chief of army staff. I think the chief of army staff at that time was, what's his name? Buratai. Buratai was the one at that time. Buratai is retired. Now it is Farouk Yahya, because I think Atari was the one that passed away in that crash. That was like a couple of months ago or years, like last year. So, and then from there, it goes to the commanding officer. That's the closest barrack by the area. So, to the best of my understanding, there is no way that the number one in the country will have to tell a Jagaban that, hey, this is what I am going to do in Lagos. Are you okay with it? I'm just telling you to warn you. Because there were rumors on that day that they said Jagaban fled to France, to Paris, France. Jagaban was actually interviewed that next day. And he said he's in Nigeria. None of that happened. He's here. I want everyone to also remember that the president of Nigeria actually gave a press statement. He addressed the whole NSAS issue 2 days later, or 2 days after the incident, 2010, 2020. He never made mention of the NSAS protest. Then who is Jagaban to talk about it? If the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that commands the army didn't say a word about, didn't even address it, didn't even feel like it even happened, then who is he? He has no constitutional rights to even say or do anything. Babajide Sanwo-Olu cannot command a constable in a police station. If you guys remember, yes, according to Nigeria's constitution, even though he's the chief security officer of Lagos State and he receives maybe 2 billion or 3 billion naira as security, there's this name, I've forgotten the name that they call it. I've forgotten the name they call it. All governors in Nigeria receive that money. And that money, you can use that money to do whatever you want to do with that money. Security votes. Yes, it's called security votes. So even with that money, that's why you hear that they'll say, oh, the Lagos State government bought these cars or that cars for the police officers and stuff. So if you remember what happened in Shangisha, the Shangisha landlords in Magodo.
Okay.
There was interface between Sanwo-Olu and that police officer that is even way beneath the commissioner of police of Lagos State. That they gave me a promotion just recently to AIG, I think, or so. He said, sir, you have to call my IG. I'm not living here. He said, no, I've addressed it with you, whatever it is, whatever. Like, no, I'm not living here. Call my IG. My IG will tell me to leave. I feel it was a ploy in the sense that he was trying to let you guys know that, hey, what happened in NSAS? So I can't control them. I can't control them. They are not under my control. So the control of the army is under the president. The control of the police is under federal. So that is why you hear people clamor for state policing. That's why you hear people clamor for independent type of maybe regional policing and all that, so that these governors can have control. So in the case of NSAS, someone that doesn't have any constitutional rights, how is he involved with the NSAS? the thing that happened at the Lekki toll gate. I want us to ask ourselves that question. Oh, is it because the perceived godfather in quotes? Does he have any constitutional rights for that? It doesn't. And a Buhari would never call a Tinubu to do something in Lagos. For what? He's the president. And he's even a retired army official. And by our constitution and rules of engagement, Ashiwaju has no say in what happened in NSAS, in my humble opinion. People's opinion can differ. I respect people's opinions, but that is my own stance on that.
Okay. I also respect people's opinions, and if anyone in governance or from another political party has anything to say concerning NSAS or concerning this, my platform will be made available for you. So please kindly reach out and let us discuss this. Now, one question a lot of people seem to be asking in the live is, who switched off the light? So there's a rumor that the lights were switched off. Is there anything you can say, or should we move to the next part of?
Well, I will just say something. I will say, so when I say I have some concerns about it, because there are some schools of thoughts that actually believe that no killing happened there. Honestly, with facts. There are some schools of thought that believe that there were empty shells that were used by the army. Empty shells. So there's some school of thought that will tell you that when they were coming there to turn off the lights, there was actually laser beams that are quite expensive, that not necessarily the camera was what they were taking out. So I can't sit here and verify why they off or they didn't off the light, but all I know is that there was a curfew. The initial curfew was for 4 p.m. That was a curfew that Sanwo-Olu gave. And maybe Sanwo-Olu may have asked for help, like, hey, I'm putting a curfew. And if you know what the meaning of a curfew means after this time, you must not be outside. If you're outside, you're the one that we are looking for, and that's collateral damage. So he now extended it to 8 o'clock. Now, I do not know if the army got that information. And let us not forget that when you protest, for the most part, you go to like a park or something, like a protest park, you have police to guide you and all that stuff, right? But the protesters were on the bridge, blocking flow of traffic. And there were people that may not have believed in the NSAS protest. In quotes, that could be seen as an insurrection. In quotes, that could be seen as challenging the sovereignty of a state. And when the government sees that, the government will act. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, oh, what they did was, it was bad. You know, what happened was bad. I pray it never happens.
Amen.
However, it's like you served into the government's hands. Like, you are challenging the sovereignty of my state. That's what it means, my country. If you challenge sovereignty of a country, the country is going to go bonkers on you, regardless of who you are. They'll give you that treatment. You're blocking the road. Normally, you go to where there's a protest ground. For example, the Ojota rally that happened in 2012. That was the aha moment for the APC group, APC, all of them to, you know, form that coalition and all that stuff. They were at the Ojota Park, and they did their rally, and they did their protest and all that. They didn't block the road. But then, remember, Jonathan then brought the soldiers, I think 4 or 5 days later, and everybody dispersed. That was even at a park. He brought soldiers, they brought armor tanks, if you guys can remember very well, in 2012, January 4th or 5th of 2012. So that's all I have to say about that. That's all I have to say about that in the phrase.
Yeah, NSAS is a very passionate topic, and views will always be divergent. And what I have to say is, like he said, this is his own perspective. Today, I'm just here to moderate and ask questions. And as you've seen from the beginning, I'm not sharing my personal opinions. This is just an open forum. A lot of people have suggested that, now, please keep your commenting civil or I will take you out. I've taken a few people out for just being silly, and I will take you out. So just understand that you are not paying me money to be on my live. I will remove you with no conscience, with good conscience self. Now, I want you guys in the comment section to ask your questions. What questions would you like to ask? The question is Tinubu the man for 2023? Please prepare your question and ask them. If I see any nice question or any question that seems relevant or important, I will pin it. Okay?
Okay. All right. Let's go, Daddy. Okay. Let's go, Daddy. Please.
Let's not mince words. In opinion, is Tinubu,
yes, sir,
or Asiwaju as his fondly called, the man for 2023? And if he is or isn't, why?
Okay. So, firstly, I would like to start by saying Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been a blessing to us in Lagos State. He is the makers of men. He is the leaders of men. He is the Jagaban of Bogo, the chief architect of modern Lagos, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is the man for 2023. And why do I say so? I came in prepared, actually. It's a 4-part. I'm going to look at Asiwaju's performance. I'm going to look at his succession plans. I'm going to look at his current manifesto, because in a manifesto, it has to go through the SMART principle, which is S stands for specific. Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it relevant? And is it time-based? And last but not least, I'm going to look at his politicking. Now, let's talk about his performance. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu took Lagos from a state that was that had an internal generated revenue, IGR, internal generated revenue of 600 million naira. That was in 1999 per month. Today, Lagos is doing about 45 billion naira per month. Asiwaju made Lagos the 5th largest economy in Africa. The Lagos economy is bigger than Ghana's economy, almost double. Our GDP, yes, almost double. The GDP of Lagos State is about 27% of the total GDP, meaning gross domestic product, which means how much does everything in the country, how much in monetary value, how much does it worth? Your house, your cars, your businesses, and what have you. Then non-oil GDP, Lagos is doing about 56, 57%. He did all of that. Asiwaju also saw that there is a need for governance to be more grassroots. And I'll tell you how I benefited from it. I benefited from it because Asiwaju created 37 LCDAs. Because a lot of people will come out and tell you that, what's the word? Buhari is doing this, Buhari is not doing that, Buhari whatever. Do you really understand governance in Nigeria? Do you know that the most important government in Nigeria is actually the local government? Do you know that? Every local government in Nigeria receives at least 150 million naira per month as federal allocation. And one thing that Buhari did, which is a credit to him, is that Buhari fought the state governments to make the local governments autonomous, so that that money will come directly to the local government, not into the shared account of the state government. Now, Asiwaju back in 2003, remember, he was in the opposition government. In 2003, PDP took all of the states except Lagos State. Asiwaju created 37 LCDAs to make government closer to the people. Because according to section 7 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, it says that the local government is supposed to formulate an economic development council Now, that Economic Development Council is supposed to give recommendations to the state government on the plight of the people. And if you look at Schedule 4, for example, in the 1999 Constitution, is way back. The local government are the ones actually in charge of fixing your roads. The local government are in charge of family planning. And I'm very big on family planning in Nigeria because one of our major problems in Nigeria is population explosion. We do not have enough resources for us to manage to support our population at this time. Now, moving on. Asiwaju created millions of jobs in Lagos. Millions of jobs. Lagos was very, very dirty before Asiwaju came on board. There was so much insecurity before Asiwaju came on board. He created Loma. He created Lamata, Lasra. He created a bunch of all of these agencies, Kick Against Indiscipline, LASEPA. He created all of these agencies to create more job opportunities also. And remember, the more jobs created, the more revenue you make. Because state governments make their money, like whatever salary are being paid in a state, state government makes, they collect taxes, they pay taxes, goes actually to the state government. Now, let's talk about how it's able to generate money. There was an act that was passed in 2006, an administrative act that made LIRS autonomous. That in itself made Lagos be able to generate more money. That singularly act. And Asiwaju was able to tap into the informal economy in Nigeria. The informal economy in Nigeria controls about 60% of the total economy in Nigeria. And he was able to go into that economy and get taxes from that economy. Now, all of these that I'm saying, and then let's talk about justice also. Do you know Lagos State is the only state that has laws on domestic violence in Nigeria? And then FCT, but FCT is not a state, just parts of it. Lagos State has laws on domestic violence. Lagos State has its own Child Care Act. Guess who was the brainchild for all of this? None other than the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. That's why I said Asiwaju is the makers of men. Now, let's move forward. Now, as I'm talking about him being the makers of men, let's look at his continuity. Now, people in his first cabinet. Asiwaju was the first person to have a female governor as deputy in 1999. That is Bokno Akerele. Yes, Bokno Akerele. Though she's in PDP now anyway. Now, look at how many men were in his first cabinet. Asiwaju didn't discriminate. You had two Igbo men in his cabinet, Joe Igbokwe, and you had Ben Akabweze. Ben Akabweze, I think, is in the debt management office as we speak. You have Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is the minister for works. You have Ambode, former governor. You have Sanwo-Olu, current governor. You have the vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. You have him there. You have Leke Piton. Even the Oba Belegushi was there. There was a picture that they had. He was there. You look at Babatunde Fowler, the former FIRS boss. You look at Muiz Banire. You look at Mamora. These are great men doing great things in their different walks of life at this time. They are serving in the government at this time as we speak. Now, I will move forward because I want to make it real quick. Let's talk about continuity. Because one thing that we lack in Nigerian governments, even in state governments and even in the federal government, is continuity. The template. The roadmap. Asiwaju sat down and looked at the roadmap of Lagos State. How do I want to turn Lagos State around? In Lagos State, they came up with the BRTs, the lag buses. Now you have the blue line, the blue rail and the red rail. Even though the Nigerian factor comes in where funding is late and all that, because we have the Nigerian factor in there. But there's continuity. If you look at all of these agencies, there is continuity. And remember, Asiwaju always has technocrats around him. One thing that God bless that man with is knowing how to get talent. He sees talents. He knows talents from afar. So all of these things that I'm saying was also with the help of the talent, because I want people to realize something here, that a manager doesn't necessarily have to know the job all-rounder, but his subordinates, he should give them the tools to succeed. So everyone must have the tools to succeed. Now, when you're running an organization or the government, there are 4 kinds of people that you want. Firstly, you want the intellectual, the one that is very, very smart, that gives you all of the ideas. The second one is you want the brave ones. Those are like the generals. When you say, let's go do this, they are the ones that machine the people to go do this. Those are the people that are leading your ministries, your agencies. Then thirdly, you have the covetous ones, the lazy ones. Those ones have the shortcut of getting the job done. So you might need them so you don't have to rack your brain too much. And the fourth one, you have to have your foot soldiers. Those are the ones that actually get the job done. Now, this man was able to put this plan in place such that governors from different states were coming to Lagos on excursion. How are you people doing it in Lagos? Please, can you share the template for us in Lagos? Asiwaju was the first person that started this one-day governor in Lagos State. If you remember, for kids to let them get involved in politics at a very young age. Do you know that from 1999 till date, Asiwaju actually, with his team and his succession, increased the IGR of Lagos State by 7,400%. Everything that I say on your live here, please, you guys fact check it. I beg you guys, fact check it. Asiwaju increased the IGR by 7,400%. I think that is somebody that we might need in Nigeria at this time. Now, Asiwaju was the first person to bring an independent power plant into Nigeria after fighting tooth and nail with the Obasanjo regime. That contributed about 250 megawatts to our national grid. It's in Ikorodu there. Asiwaju actually, look at this. Oh, look, I want to tell you something significant that happened this year. Asiwaju has always pushed for states to control their national grid, because Asiwaju is big on electricity. For states to control their national grid, the federal government at the time didn't give him that opportunity. Now, in 2022, they just did a constitutional amendment and said all states can begin to control their power grid. What Asiwaju was fighting for in 2003, 18 years later or 19 years later, this man, this is what he does. This is how he does it. This is how he does. I'm thinking. Think ahead. Now, moving forward, let's talk about the manifesto, because I want to wrap things up because people have questions. Let's talk about this manifesto. I know there are some certain, what's it called? Contestants and all that, candidates that are vying in different posts and positions, and I come to them later in the day. Asiwaju's manifestos are simple, very simple. He says, hey, I am going to give 25% of our budget into education. Do you know where he got that template from? If we go back to the 1950s, Professor Awokoya, I think yes, Awokoya, 1953 to be precise, himself and Awolowo, they started the universal primary education in the old Western region. That in itself was able to increase the amount of ladies, the ratio, because the ratio of male to female was 5:1. It made it 5:2. He increased that ratio from 5 to 2. It was free primary education. And that in itself encouraged a lot of people from the Western region to be more educated in the whole of Nigeria. I'm not trying to throw any sly shade or jab at anybody, but I'm saying, and what they did was 30% of the old Western budget, I think about 30 to 35% was on education alone. We are really lagging as a country in human capital development. Nigeria has population, yes, but what is their value? A Nigerian's value per day is 74 cents, while a Vietnamese value per day is $10.
How do you get this?
I will repeat myself again.
How do you get this?
What did you say? Now I look at the what's it called? Looking at import and export. Vietnam alone in I think 2020 or 2021 exported about $336 billion. Now look at how much Nigeria was able to export. Then calculate that by our population divided by 210 million. When you look at Vietnam's population also divided by 200 and by I think they are maybe between 90 and 100 million. Those are how you get those values, because you begin to look at trade surplus, trade deficit, internally generated revenues, and what have you. Look at that. Now that you even said that, let's look at 2018, for example. In 2018, Nigeria exported about $64 billion worth of goods. Nigeria imported $48 billion worth of goods. Now, let's now switch it to 2018. Now let's switch it to services. Remember, it is goods and services. Now in services, it's more of education, training, right? Now, Nigeria was only able to export about $6 billion of services to the world. Guess how much we imported to the world? 30 billion US dollars. That's what we imported. So that is already negative 24. And then you have plus 16 here. So negative 24 plus 16 gives you negative 8 billion US dollars. And that is why people are always big on, you hear people say, if we improve our education, our economy will be better. If we improve our education, our economy will be better. These are the indices that they look at. Now, this man in question already knows how important education is. According to UNESCO, UNESCO says that you want to give 4% of your GDP. 4% of UNESCO, 4% of your GDP to education. Ashiwaju is looking at 6%. I want to give it 6% because in Nigeria's budget in 2022, I think on education is 8%. Education is 8%, and our budget is 1/10 of our GDP. So if I do the math, that's level up to 4% that is recommended by UNESCO. But Ashiwaju wants to take it to 6%. Now, let's move further into, he says he wants to create 6 geopolitical agencies. Ashiwaju is big on agencies. Now, could Ashiwaju be pushing for what everyone in Nigeria has been hoping to push, what they want? Nigerians have been wanting true federalism, where each region manages its resources. Because Ashiwaju is saying he wants to create those agencies to address insecurity and also autonomy. Now, back before the 60s, Nigeria was operating a regional type of government. The northern, the old western, and the old eastern region. Due to the effect of the unfortunate coup in 1966, Aguiyi Rossi declared Decree 34, and made it a unitary government. And the rest is history. You know, I don't want to delve into all of that happened and all that. But now it seems like he wants to go back to that, because now it will make people, this government, more responsible. Because if you don't work, you don't eat. And you bring something to the center. Now, let's look at GDP growth. Ashiwaju is projecting a GDP growth of 12% in 4 years. That is his goal. Remember, when you are setting up goals, remember I said you use a SMART principle. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time focused. These are the tools that I use in my field anyway. These are tools we use in our field. But before you use that, you must have used what's called, you must have done a root cause analysis. Maybe for the most part using cost mapping to determine all of this. Now, how will he bring about the increase in our GDP growth? It is proven. When Asiwaju from 1999 to 2007 increased the GDP of Lagos State by at least 1,200%. And in 22 years, Lagos State is doing 7,400%. There is something that this man is doing. A lot of people will throw the health thing. They complain about his health, right? Since in the primaries, this man sat down for 15 straight hours.
That's a great topic right there. Let us talk about his health. A lot of people are complaining. Some people even call him Shaky Shaky Daddy. We all noticed his hand trembling.
Yes.
Not one or two or even 3 videos. And somebody made a comment the other day and said if only Tinubu can put a thread in a needle, they'll vote for him. Let us also talk about speculations that he was wetting himself. We're here to discuss the truth.
That's fine.
Can you throw some light on that? And can that lead his ability as a leader, in your opinion?
In my view, I do not think all of these are valid. In the sense that we need his brains. That's what we need now. You say that this man is sick, but this man sat at the APC primaries that a lot of us slept off. I slept off. I was monitoring the situation. I slept off and still woke up. And that man was still there. When he won the primaries, this man hasn't rested. He's been going all around greeting everybody. Everybody. And that is something about him, knowing how to play politics. Even if you got 0 votes, he's coming there to come and greet you. Going all around Abuja. And just today, he was at the campaign ground of Ekiti State, the Ekiti State elections, Oyebanji. He was there campaigning for him. This is somebody that they say is sick, that is not fit to. Whereas the one that is fit went to Egypt. And now, the Labour Party, yes, I'm going to call Labour Party. Yes, the Labour Party in Ekiti State have put their structure into the APC structure. Just today. Weren't you supposed to go there to go support the Labour Party governor? But I digress. Now, I feel that, in my humble opinion, that is not a factor. We need somebody that is tested and proven that can give us the required results that we need. Because a report came out just last week, the World Bank report. It says that in sub-Saharan Africa, more people are going to go into poverty. Now, Nigeria has Nigeria's extreme poverty rate is at 52 or 53%. Extreme poverty. That means you can afford $1.90
a day
per day. Now that value is going to go up because we have inflation, we have stagflation. Stagflation meaning that prices of goods and services are soaring, but no, no growth in the economy, no growth in your salary. So that number is going to go up to maybe $2.1 or $2.2 per day. That means that more people are going to fall into extreme poverty. While in Nigeria, 70% of Nigerians are in poverty. Do you need somebody that is going to save money, or do you need someone that is going to generate money? Even though this person that they say is going to save money is somewhat a facade, because now the truths are really coming out. But I digress. So that is all I have to say about his health. We need his brain. We need him. He knows how to get talent. He knows how to get those technocrats that will get the job done. That is who we need. Give them the tools to succeed. That's all I have to say about that.
All right. You mentioned Peter Obi going to Egypt. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong in him going to Egypt to go and study the government there.
It is all shades of wrong, in my opinion. You
Why?
are a two-term governor. Two-term governor from 2003 to 2006, because he won the election in 2003 when the court in Gige was from 2000 to 2006 to 2014. Two-term governor, and you don't know how the educational system or the electricity system and all that works, kind of, or what your solutions are at this time, 9 months to the elections. Me sitting down here, I can actually get some information on Egypt, on their education, on their power sector. But you have to go to Egypt. And you also ran as a vice president to another man. Now, that man is the one you don't want in office. I can say, okay, yes, if Peter Obi wins, that's fine. But that other man must not get into office because of what happened in 2003. But maybe we'll get there. But to me, I feel that you should be more than prepared at this time. You should be going to Egypt or going to South Africa 9 months to an election. What have you been doing prior to now? What have your aides been doing prior to now? I know that is all a smoke screen. For me, I know it's all a smoke screen. Do you need anybody to tell you the problems we have in our power sector? Do you mind if I just talk briefly about our power sector?
Briefly, then, because I need to open up the comment section so people can start asking questions. Just 2 minutes on the power sector.
Okay. Our power sector was what's the word I'm looking for? Was privatized in 2005 by Atiku. There was an act that was passed. They divided it into 6 generating companies and 11 distribution companies. In 2013, it was fully privatized. You guess how much they sold all our assets? Because only Transmission Company of Nigeria wasn't subsidized. It was sold for $2.5 billion at a giveaway price. They signed so many agreements. There were like 4 agreements they signed for about 25 years. Now, the whole agreement is that you guys in the Gencos and Discos will be investing. But what they soon realized was that it was a bad deal because the foreign investors ran away. So this is how privatization works in Nigeria. And Atiku is a principal in privatization. He's the head prefect. Over 60 of our enterprises was privatized under him. Now he's saying he's going to privatize the rail, he's going to privatize the refineries, he's going to completely privatize TCN and also NNPC. Now, the electricity in Nigeria, total capacity is 13,500 megawatts. The Gencos make this electricity, goes through the lines, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, which is not subsidized at this time, I think at an efficiency of about 7,000 megawatts, and then goes to the Discos. Now, those Discos can only take maybe 4,000 to 5,000. So if they are not investing in the Discos, if they are not investing in the Gencos, because only 60% of Nigerians that pay their NEPA bill, only 60% of Nigerians have access to electricity in Nigeria at this time as we are speaking. The Discos are only paying the Gencos 20%. The Nigerian country subsidizes our electricity by 360 billion naira every year, at least. We pay one of the cheapest for electricity in Nigeria at this time. We pay in the world, looking at the world at this time. So how will people that went to buy our assets, that are in charge of importing crude oil and importing petroleum products, you are the one in charge of electricity, you are not the one in charge of importing petroleum products. You are the one in charge of generators, you have shares in generators. Tell me how it is going to work. Now, Nigerian privatization in a nutshell. You go and borrow $1.4 billion. This happened to one power plant recently. You go borrow $1.4 billion US to build the power plants. When you finish building the power plant, you say, oh no, I cannot run this power plant. Then you sell it to your cronies for $100 million. Those ones go to the banks to go and borrow the money, Nigerian banks, to go and borrow the money. And then they buy it. But remember, the 1.4 billion is on us to pay the debt. Because every Nigerian that is watching me here is owing about 200,000 naira. And if you are in Lagos, you are owing an additional 65,000 naira. So Daddy Freeze, as you are like this, you are owing 265,000 naira. That's the money on your head. That's the money on my head at this time. So that is how they enrich themselves. And remember, this man that we call just now, the Labour Party presidential candidate, was telling us that the best thing that will happen to Nigeria is if Atiku becomes our president in 2019. So I am supporting, I think Asiwaju is the best. A lot of you are saying Peter Obi should be the best. However, Peter Obi was the vice of Atiku that you people always say is the worst thing, but he says is the best thing. So what does that make all of us psychologically? I want us to think deeply what I just said now.
Right now, I want to open up the phone lines.
That's fine. Let's go.
And start asking questions. So if you're interested in coming onto the live, we're going to finish this live in 10 minutes. So your questions are going to be 30 seconds, and then your answers are going to he's going to have like a minute and a half to answer your question. So please do send your requests. So I'm bringing in the first, and please, if I bring you on and you don't have light on, I will just remove you straight. So I'm bringing in the first two people. Ask your question. Remember to be polite. All right.
Hi, Daddy Freeze.
Hi, how are you doing? Thank you for the fact that your light is on and you are ready. So go ahead.
Yes, sir. Oh, my brother, DJ Bongolee. I already sent you a DM. You know, you live in Houston. I live in Dallas. You already got yourself a friend through Daddy Freeze. You know, Daddy Freeze is just like Tinubu. He knows how to get the best talent. You know, so I kind of like, you know, because trust me, Nigeria, whether we are in Nigeria or we are not in Nigeria, you know, Nigeria problem still goes with us anywhere we go all over the world, right? We have our families back there. My dad is in Nigeria. My brother is there, you know. I have a lot of family members there. So, but, you know, one thing I noticed about Nigerians is that, you know, we sometimes we follow the bandwagon, you know, in the sense that when a situation happens, you know, we don't actually, you know, get to the root cause of the problem, right? You know, so when somebody starts, you know, mentioning a name, before you know it, a lot of people have been mentioning that same name, right? So, but you know, I don't know Asiwaju, I don't know Peter Obi, I don't know Atiku. The only thing I know is that Asiwaju has been governor of Lagos State for 8 years. Atiku has been, you know, vice president, right? But well, we don't have time to. Well, I think what we need now is a proven person, somebody who has done something, who has somebody who has a track record. So that is why I want to put all my money on Asiwaju, because if we don't have that time to kind of experiment no more, I don't think Nigeria can afford another 4 years of failure. If not, we're going to throw ourselves into a lot of, God forbid.
Yeah. So let me help you. I think I understand where your question is. Let me help you. Yeah. So you are saying with the current situation of Nigeria at this time,
Yes, sir.
who is the best person for us? Now let me explain here. Nigeria's budget is about 40 to 45 billion US dollars.
Okay.
Our deficit at this time, budget deficit, is almost half, right?
Yeah.
We are not making a lot of money revenue.
Yeah.
We have to go and borrow money. Just today, I just read in the news that Nigeria is owing CBN 19 trillion naira. We are owing 19 trillion naira to the CBN at this time. Now you have somebody that has created a template that increased the IGR, internally generated revenue, by 7,400%. During his time, 1,200%. Compared to a Peter Obi, I will say it here with my full chest. Peter Obi is not productive. I will say with my full chest. And I'll tell you why I said Peter Obi is not productive and he's not the man we need at this time. We should run away from him. You know why?
Go ahead.
From 2006 to 2008, 2014, the IGR of Anambra State only increased by 18%. That is very, 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 very poor. I'm saying percent. I am not saying money. That's why I'm using percent to compare. It tells me that because in 2006, the IGR of Anambra State was 7.4 billion naira per annum. In 2014, when he was leaving, it was actually 8.7. Okay. So it tells me that okay. So I believe that we need someone that can generate more money. And Peter B, in the history of Nigerian politics, is not it at all. In 8 years, only 18%. When somebody is in 1,200%, people are doing 300%, 500%. In my opinion.
All right, like I said, I'm not going to put. Oh wow, we lost that lady.
Oh, you moved it.
Thank you, bro. Sorry, one question each so that other people can.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, all right. Good.
Sorry, DJ Bongolee, we lost the entire video.
It's okay.
What I'm going to do now is so that we cap, because people, if they just start asking questions, and we're just going to put your question session on Instagram, it's going to look one-sided. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to please recap everything you've said. This time. And I'm now going to open the comment section for another 10 minutes.
Okay. All right.
You see a blank screen there. So I'm going to move my screen. So you just have 10 minutes to just deliver your points. Everything, if you can sum it up, please, because it will be fair to you. In a recorded video, people are just going to see the end and they're not going to be able to come together. 10 minutes if you can. Can we do this?
Okay, let's do this. All right.
So, video, is there anybody who saved the video? Can you send it to me? If you save the video, then we don't have to do a recap. But the problem with
someone said you can save it from your archives or something. I don't
think so. I don't think so. It has happened to me before, and the video wasn't saved. It just cut off. You understand? I'm in my archives now. Live archive. These are my live archives. 4th of
Let
June,
it be there.
18th of May.
Let it be there.
Is saying video is being processed.
Okay. All right.
And it doesn't have. So I would rather to how do I say it, to be on to be safe than, let's rather be safe than sorry. Just sum up everything as you can in 10 minutes, and I'll open the section for another 10 minutes. Made Mandela, send me a DM if you saved that video, all of it. If there's any way in which you've saved it, just send me a DM. Let me also, while you're talking, I'll just mute my mic and cover my screen, so I will go into this and try to sort this out. Please.
Okay. All right. So let me say this again. I think that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the right man to take Nigeria to move Nigeria to a better place. So why do I say this? I'm saying this because of his performance in Lagos between 1999 to 2007. Also, his succession plan. Having a template. Looking at where Lagos is back then, the Lagos that was generating about 7 billion naira in 1999 per annum. Now Lagos is generating 420 billion naira. Now, you look at his manifesto. I didn't even finish on his manifesto. For his manifesto, you are looking at 25% on education. You are looking at forming 6 geographical zones to improve security and autonomy. So that is kind of like pseudo-federalism. And then you look at the GDP, increasing the GDP of Nigeria in 4 years by 12%. Then also electricity, that is about 15,000 megawatt. That is his target. Nigeria does averagely between 4,500 to 5,000 megawatts. So he is looking at bumping that up. And now Asiwaju wants to put together a new infrastructural plan for the whole of Nigeria. I don't think Nigeria has ever had such a plan before when they created Nigeria. Maybe only Abuja, because Abuja was it's the federal capital territory, so they had to plan it. But now this man here says, I want to put all of that together. Then last but not the least, politics. He knows how to play politics. So when you have all of these great ideas in place, great ideas, beautiful knowledge, how do you implement it? You have to understand the game of politicking. So I think that is where I will rest for now. That is where I'll rest for now. I think more inspiration will come when people ask me questions. Daddy Freeze, if you're there. Hello, Daddy Freeze. Okay, what else can I talk about? Let's see. What else do I have here for Asiwaju? Okay. What can I talk to you guys about now? Should I talk about electricity? Should I talk about healthcare? Should I talk about the economy? Should I talk about education? What do you guys want me to talk about? Security? You guys want to talk about security in Nigeria? Well, Daddy Freeze is getting stuff together and what we can do. Let's see, security, economy, which one? Which one? Agriculture, which one? Just throw a topic there. Okay, let's talk about security. Someone said security. Okay, I'm seeing security. Okay, someone said electricity, healthcare and security. Okay, let us talk about security. Now, we have major security issue in Nigeria. Now, this one has nothing to do with APC or PDP or LP or whatever. We all are going through this security issue. Now, if you guys can remember, or if you guys, for all of us that know about the security issues, there seems to be issues, intertribal clashes or communal clashes between herders and farmers. We are having a lot of these issues. And why is it that? Part of it is we are having serious issues with climate change. And now with climate change, where they typically get their water from is no longer sustainable anymore. It's becoming desertified. There's desertification going on in the north. So the herders have to come with their cows down to the south. And Lake Chad, where they get their water from, has shrunk by, in the last 45 years, it's shrunk by 90%. So you always have those tussles. For example, if you look at what's happening in southern Kaduna, if you look at what's happening in Zamfara, if you look at what's happening in Katsina, what's happening in Kebbi, you see at times that it's farmers and herders. Then you have cattle rustlers. You have insurgency. For example, the insurgency that you see going on in the northeastern region really started full scale in 2003, a man called Muhammad Yusuf. And he started his teachings in Yobe State and in Borno State. And then he was apprehended by the Yaradua government. However, he got, what's the word? He got neutralized extrajudicially. And by being, by that happening, then it spiraled into what we have today called the BOKO-HARAM with time. And then you have all of these issues going on. And with time, they began to say no to modern education. Then it became radicalized. Now, moving forward, you then begin to have what's it called? These people coming in from the Sahel region, coming to infiltrate Nigeria. You're having more of them coming in at this time. Now you have the ANSARU, you have the ISWAP, you have the BOKO-HARAM, you have all of this going on. And then when you begin to move down south, you begin to have KIDNAPPING going on. You have all of that going on.
Bro,
yeah.
welcome back. I'm so grateful to God. I was able to save. Somebody said I should go to archive. So I just went to meet my darling taste bud just so thank you. The video is actually on my page already posted now.
Good. All right, let me ask questions. My head is frying. I'm sorry. My head is frying.
I'm so grateful to God that this actually worked out. So thank you guys so much. The person that said I should go to archives, we have the video saved. So let me now bring in questions. We're going to do this in 5 minutes now. DJ Bongolee tired. I'm also exhausted. So thank you so much. Video was saved. You guys can catch it. Real quick, I'm going to bring in two people. Please ask your questions very quickly. I'm bringing in African God. Savage, please. Now, working with time, no time to I'm exhausted. So is DJ Bongolee. So hello, my darling sister. Talk to me and ask.
I was already asking him a question. I said that all the things he said Tinubu achieved at that time, he was like younger and more active. So like, what's the guarantee that those achievements could still come up again? Now he has really gone down over the years. So he was trying to like tell us, as in some, tell us about some points he had before we now lost you. So, but I think we should try to give a younger person a chance. That's my opinion. Not about the ethnics, the regions. Okay, and you see, other thing is this: Tinubu achieved a lot, yes, to manage a large state like Lagos.
Question quickly. Roman God Savage, 30 seconds for question, please, so we can get this rolling. So, Please compress it. Thank you, ma.
Okay. So, like what I'm saying, that Tinubu himself could manage a large state. Likewise, P2B that manage an number that is not so large. So, in my opinion, I think those two people are we've tested and trusted both of them. So, but now Obi is younger than Tinubu, and he will be able to articulate it more. So, Oga DJ, what do you think about what I just said now?
Like I said earlier, I think age and all that is just a demograph at this time. This man has the intellect. The intellect hasn't gone anywhere. When he won the primaries, he's been going everywhere to visit everybody. Also, he's been able to go for an actual campaign. He did that today. Like I said, as a manager, you have to give tools to your subordinates to succeed. That is all you are supposed to do for the most part. You don't necessarily have to know everything, but you give your subordinates the tools to succeed. This man knows how to get talent. He knows how to work with technocrats. And one of the major proteges is Professor Yemi Osibajo, who is the current vice president of Nigeria. So I think he's well-rounded, he's well-covered. You have the right team with him. And I don't think health is an issue for him because he's proven beyond reasonable doubt that he's fit to rule Nigeria at this time. Thank you.
All right. Roman God Savage, African God Savage. No, Henry, wait, it's your turn. We met somebody here. So, Roman God, go ahead.
I don't have so much as a question, but I need to say this very clearly. This is not something that we're told. This is not something that we're heard. It's something that everybody saw. I think it's an insult to tell us that Tinubu is fit. Physically, I do not think that he is fit physically to start with. But regardless, that is also the case. Daddy Freeze.
Yes, bro.
Everybody keeps saying he has eyes for talent, and he has been in the political sphere of Nigeria for a very long time. Right? So I'm guessing that the past 8 years, at least he has some people who are those talents that he has discovered that has been a part of that government that we suffered. It's more or less like Tinubu gave us Buhari, told us to vote him in that is the right person. And right now, Buhari has failed, and now he's now telling us that he can do it. Apparently, all of his talents that he has discovered are the ones that have run Nigeria till today. So if he has very good eyes for talent, how come all of the talents are the ones that have caused us to suffer for 8 years continuously with no kind of reprieve? So what is the conversation here? And I hear a lot that Tinubu has a lot of experience with politics. My question is, what does this experience entail? Is this about how to coerce people and turn their hand behind their back and make them do what you want? Is it about forcing people to pay you something for you putting them in position? What is really the description of what we consider as very good at politics to start with? Because I hear that a lot. And Daddy Freeze, another thing that I need to ask Bongolee here is, if you had an establishment that you control or that you have stocks in or that you have shares in, and a tragic event happens there, do you not think that you owe the people some kind of explanation from your own perspective as to what happened at that establishment? It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be real. At least for the decency, for respect to the people who lost their lives there, do you not think that you owe them some kind of explanation no matter what it is at that time? Okay. And like I said, I want you to speak to that experience that you said he has. And I also want you to speak to, he knows how to put people in power. He has done it over time. And the people that he has put in power is what has brought us here. So I want to tell you what he might be able to do differently this time that he is there. And I want you to speak to his health. Because you're saying Tinubu is physically fit, but he could not hold up a flag. right?
Okay.
So I want you to speak to that. Let's start from his fitness as an entity. Because I think holding up a flag and flipping a page can be considered an activity of daily living, an ADL, right? So if he cannot, right, go ahead with an ADL that was only lasting less than an hour, what's to say he's able to run a whole country? And
Okay,
these are very
thank you.
objective questions.
Are you done with your question now? You asked like 4 or
Okay.
5 questions in one.
Okay.
Um,
I think that's because
That's
we're
5 questions. I wrote them down.
Brother Savage. I'm
Yeah.
going to move you, so I'll leave Henry. So when you're done asking,
absolutely.
Henry will be the last guy, so we can end it. God bless you.
Mhm.
For joining.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Firstly, this is what I'm going to say here. What are we talking about right now? What are we all talking about? Huh? What are we all talking about? I'm asking everybody. Politics. Right? We are talking about what? Politics. I think that has already answered knowing how to play politics. I think that has answered that question. It's a game. It's a game. It's politics. Politics, we all as humans are political animals. Politics is all about making deals and striking deals, making alliances. Of what use is a man to get into power and doesn't know how to play politics to push his policies? You know how to get to power, but you don't know how to meander your way through. For example, look at what happened in the primaries in the APC. He was not supposed to even be there. They didn't want him there. But it is politics. He was able to find his way and get that flag bearership. Now, let's talk about his health. I have explained. No, people say, yeah, it's a game salary with people's lives. Yes, all around the world, we play politics. Here in America, it's politics. Let me tell you something. We as humans, we tend to hold more people, other people, to a higher standards than we hold ourselves. We do that a lot. Politics is politics, unfortunately. If you feel bad about the politics, then get into politics. That's one of the things I'm even going to tell you people, tell us at the end of the day. Get into politics, become the delegates, choose the person that represents us. Now, moving forward to his health, I've explained times without number about his health. It is his brain that we need. It is his brain that we need. If at a job, there are 4 types of people that you employ. I said that before. You employ the intellect, the person that brings the ideas, the think tank. You employ the brave. Those are your generals, like your managers that put things in place. You employ the covetous, the lazy ones. Those ones are the ones that will get the job done, but in a very smart way. Then those ones may even help you not to think too much. And then you have the full soldiers to get the job done. Thirdly, he talked about the NSAS incident. The NSAS incident. I explained it at the beginning. He has no constitutional rights. He actually gave an interview the very next day. They said he ran to Paris, France. He didn't run anywhere. Allez. He didn't run anywhere. He was there. He's not the governor. He's not the president. How do you expect him to know what happened? How do you expect him to know what happened? Then, lastly, because all of these questions are questions I've answered before, so I'm just doing a recap. And lastly, what did he say again? He asked about health. Okay, bringing up Buhari. Now, he merging with Buhari was an alliance. Let us not forget that APC is a coalition of parties. Like PDP, for example, is a political party. APC is a coalition of parties. A lot of parties came together. Some part of ABGA, CPC, ANPP, ACN. Did I miss anyone? I think there were 4 or 5. Those 4 came together to form that party. And in politics, you make deals. It is politics. Let us think out of this. Hey, it is politics. If you don't like the politics in your area, go and play the politics. Now, he said, hey, this man, I think, is the man that will do the job. Nigerians voted for Buhari in 2015.
Now, anybody
Nigerians
in the comment section, I'm removing you. That's why you can see my eyes are not on this. I'm just reading and removing the dumbbells here. So if you cannot comment respectfully, just know that that's the reason why. And to come back to my page, you have to pay me an unblocking fee of 50,000. I'm warning you. I beg you, no day there. Don't beg me my DM. I would, and don't send people to me. If I remove you and you are coming back, just know you are paying 50K. This person just says, shut up, Cynthia Chidi, collect your blocking straight. If you cannot respect yourself, ask your questions, address my guests respectfully, then just know that you have no business here.
So I think, I think I've been able to answer those questions, because these questions are questions I've answered before. I think I lost my chain of thought.
So, because we're running out of time, Henry, your question.
Yes, you can ask the question.
Let's move.
Well, the question I want to ask these bros, because
I know be bros, I beg you.
Okay. But DJ Bolonga. So the question I want to ask you, because I was in Lagos April.
Yes, sir.
When I came to Lagos, I was able to I wanted to see Daddy Fish, but I couldn't see him because he said he was sick. So I didn't want to bother him. But I went so many places in Lagos. Based on other cities I've been in the world, I didn't like Lagos. I mean, all these things you guys are just selling to people. I didn't like Lagos because the place, what I was expecting is what I wasn't seeing. Because when you guys say about Lagos, I didn't see even like the structural or in any all ramification. Lagos was just like let's compare like Lagos with Indonesia. All these mega cities. I mean, the city that we're coming up, the same time with Lagos. Sometimes I begin to question myself, why do people go to Dubai? Because that Lagos you guys are talking about, the money they are making, why don't they invest that money so that people will come from Dubai to Lagos? That's my question. And another one, the seaport. The reason why Lagos are making so much money is because the port, if they free other ports, that revenue would decrease. Because other people will start, putting their goods to other ports. So that's another reason why Lagos are making so much money, because they just put Lagos port. That's the only port that that is going on in Nigeria. Apart from Lagos, you can't even import any other places. So why is it like that?
Okay. Firstly, one thing I want to tell you is that when we talk about the money that Lagos is making, Lagos sends all of that money to the federal internally generated revenue. They don't make all that money and keep it to themselves alone. If you remember the value-added tax incident where Governor Wike took the federal government to court, the FIRS was saying that they were the one that's supposed to be collecting VAT, and that VAT was not part of the executive list. So they've been collecting that money. They were not supposed to collect that money at all. So all of this money that is made, we are not running a true federalism. We are not running and that is what Bola Tinubu is planning to do, a pseudo federalism, where each region may be able to manage their resources and give a bit to the government. Now, you said you went to Lagos. I don't know what side of Lagos you went.
Okay, let me. I went to Lake.
I
went to Aja.
Hold on. Sylvia Jones 1027, you are being removed for being rude. How dare you call somebody Anwofia? Collect your blocking. If you ever want to come back to my page, it will cost you 50,000 naira on blocking fee. Collect your block.
So I will tell you something honestly. I'll tell you something honestly.
Respectful.
I was in Nigeria. I was in Nigeria in 20.
Sorry, DJ Bongolee, round of 30.
Okay.
Seconds. Let me close the line.
Now when you talk about the seaport, you are right with the seaport. It is something that we've been that Nigerians have been complaining about, that it will make life easier for people, our brothers in the East. Because if the ports in the East are working, it will take less burden off Lagos. However, Lagos is already building another seaport in Lekki. So Lagos is moving. So that in itself, you have to talk to the governors from the different states to push the federal government, if it's a federal government project, to get it together. Or if it's a state project, go and borrow money and put those ports in there, and you have cargoes coming there. You don't blame Lagos for doing what they are supposed to do, and then other states are lagging.
Yeah, I'm not blaming Lagos, but
no, I know. I'm just saying that Lagos is doing what it is supposed to do to make money. Let other states do what they have to do to make money. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Thank you so much, DJ Bongolee. God bless you.
Thank
We're
you.
having these sessions. Bye bye, Henry the Great. We're going to keep having these sessions. The sessions are always going to be passionate. They're always going to be powerful. We're going to have Atiku's people too on the grill. Ask and feel free to contribute. I'm trying to make this as neutral as possible. He likes Bola Tinubu. I like Peter Obi. We don't have to be enemies. I don't see why I'll go to the US, to Houston tomorrow and not be able to sit down and have a beer with DJ Bongolee. If that's what you guys want, you have no business on my live. If you cannot address, he's raising points. Listen, their perspectives. There are people who will tell you that NSAS, lots of people lost their lives. And there are people who argue passionately that no life was lost. So it is you to choose which side you're on. And when you're choosing the side, remember, democracy is about respecting other people's opinion, especially with regards to governance. So if he feels Bola Tinubu is his candidate of choice and he has been able to bring some issues to the table, you can disagree with him respectfully. If you cannot do this within the confines of respect, you have no business on my life. Please be warned. I will not hesitate to block you. And somebody said they are my fans. My fans are not unruly peasants. If you are my fan, you behave yourself. Roman God did not agree with him. He came, dropped his points, and he moved. That is how it's going to be.
Daddy Priest, can I say one last thing before you go? One last thing. Okay. So to people supporting Peter Obi, I want you guys to remember something. I said this previously. Peter Obi was the vice president of Atiku Abubakar in 2019. Peter Obi said that Atiku Abubakar is the best thing that will happen to Nigeria. And that is the Peter Obi that you all are supporting today, that believes in Atiku Abubakar that you people are not supporting. But I am supporting Anashiwaju and its issue. Now, the last one I will now say is, there is some confusion with Peter Obi joining the Labour Party. The Labour Party is a party that is based on socialism, benefit and welfare of the staff, of workers, of employees. That is government controlling the institutions, key sectors of the economy. But Peter Obi talks about free market. He talks about privatization, so capitalism. So are you telling me that someone that is a capitalist is going to where they are socialists? So that tells me that there may be some desperation there, just to join a political party, but your ideologies are clashing. So tell me, I don't get it. I don't just get it.
Bongolee, lovely hosting you today.
Thank you very much.
Joining. I appreciate you coming live, and everybody who came here and behaved well. You guys show success. I'll be here almost every single day, analyzing politics, discussing issues with celebrities, whatever is on the table, we're going to be talking about it. I don't know what to name this show. Guys, please suggest evening show, because it looks like it's so much more powerful than even what I was doing on the radio. It looks like what I started doing here on Instagram and on social media for the last year plus is like a cumulative of my entire career on the radio. and it seems so much more powerful. All I have is a curtain and a few phones, and boom, we're reaching the world. So thank you, all of you, for supporting us, and big shout out.
Thank you very much, Daddy Freeze. Thank you very much, Daddy Freeze. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And remember,
thank you, everyone.
Politics is, in a democracy, is about living with and understanding other people's points of view. Take care and God bless.
Thank you very much, Dad. Thank you, everyone. I love you all. Bye-bye. God bless you all. One Nigeria.